So just some reminders before we get into the video. First reminder is to make sure that you're keeping an eye out and an ear out for the key word for this lesson. Reminder number 2 is to make sure you're taking notes. Include the date, lesson number, aim, and standards to help you refer back in your notes. Let's get to it. So welcome back. We are still in Unit 2, but we are on Lesson 2. We're going to be talking more about proportional relationships. Our aim for today is how do we define and identify proportional relationships in the real world? So the first thing that we want to talk about are important vocabulary words, which is proportions. So a proportion is going to be two fractions that are set equal to each other. They're equivalent fractions. So an example would be if I had 3/5 and that was set up equal to 9/15. Now, we can test whether or not they're proportional or if there's a proportional relationship between them. So there's 3 steps that we can do in order to find this and test this proportionality. So the first step is that you want to cross multiply. Then you want to check to see if the cross products are equal. Depending whether they're equal or not, you will have a proportional relationship. So if the cross products are equal, there is a proportional relationship formed. Okay, so all fractions in a proportion should simplify to the same unit rate, or are also known as your constant proportionality. What you'll be eventually learning would also be called the slope and also the K value. So if you were given, let's go back to our example, our 3/5 equals to 9/15. So your cross products would be 5 times 9 and 3 times 15. Those are your cross products. So we want to make sure that 3 times 15, you're going to get 45. That has to equal 9 times 15, which in this case it does. So there's a proportional relationship. Not only do you want the cross products to be equal, but like I said earlier, you want to make sure that it simplifies to the same unit rate. So 3/5, it's already simplified, but 9/15 can simplify to 3/5. That can simplify to 3/5. So here, our case would be that the unit rate or the constant proportionality or the K value or slope would be 3/5. I'm going to also show you how to solve to find a proportional relationship as well using cross multiplication. All right, so in our first example, this is where we're going to find out how to solve a proportional relationship. So you want to make sure you have your cross product. So you're multiplying diagonally. So we have 1 2/3 times 1/2 and then 1/4 times x. So I'm just going to write this out, 1/4 x, and it's set equal to your 1 2/3 times 1/2. I'm going to change my 1 2/3 to 5/3 times 1/2. that's going to give me 5/6. I'm just going to rewrite this. And then I want to isolate my variable. This is the value of x that's going to make the proportion have a proportional relationship. So what I have to do, I have to divide by 1/4 by both sides. Another thing that you can do, you can multiply by the reciprocal, 4/1. So you can either do the method of taking the reciprocal, or you can divide by the fraction. Either method is going to work and give you the same answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply 5/6 by 4/1. I'm going to get, this is going to cancel out. These are going to cancel out. So I get x equals 20/6. I'm going to simplify that, and you're going to get 6 goes into 20 3 times. And then when you simplify the fraction, you're going to get 1/3. So 3 1/3 is the value of x that's going to make this proportion a proportional relationship. Okay, let's look at number 2. So number 2, it takes Christine 45 minutes to power walk, and she's power walking 3 3/4 miles. You want to figure out how far can she power walk in 2.5 hours. So what I notice about this is that you have minutes and you have hours. So I want to convert my 2.5 hours to minutes. I'm going to get 150 minutes. I want to see if this is a proportional relationship or not. And this way I can just set up my proportion. So the first thing I want to do is I want to label my numerator and denominator, my top and my bottom. So I'm going to say miles over minutes. And then I'm just going to set up my two fractions. So I have 3 3/4 miles in 45 minutes. And we want to figure out in 150 minutes, how far can she power walk? Again, you want to cross multiply. You're going to get 45x equals 150 times 15/4. Once you divide and multiply, you're going to get 45x equals 562.5, or half. Divide by 45 both sides. You don't have to worry about a reciprocal or a fraction. You're going to get 12.5 or 12.5 miles. And then a way that you can test the proportionality and justify it is through cross products. You solved it by using cross multiplication. Or you can say that she is power walking at a constant rate. So you could have used either one. All right, so for number 3. Try this one on your own, pause the video, and then we're going to come back and check it. All right, so in order to make tomato sauce, Ashley mixes tomatoes, water, and tomato paste. Tomatoes, water, and tomato paste. The ratio is 28 ounces, 12 ounces, and 18 ounces. So that means, respectively, 12 ounces water, 28 ounces tomatoes, and 18 ounces of tomato paste. Okay, so they're saying that she's using 98 ounces of tomatoes and you want to figure out how many ounces of tomato paste. So we're focused on tomatoes and tomato paste. So let's do tomatoes to paste. Set up my fraction. So I have tomatoes is 28, paste is 18. Tomatoes, we're using 98 ounces, and we want to figure out how many ounces of tomato paste she's going to use. So 28 times x, 18 times 98. So I'm going to set that up. So we have our 98 times 18. We're going to get 28x equals 1764. We're going to divide both sides by 28. X is going to equal 63 ounces of tomato paste. Okay. So make sure you check your work. Write any questions you have from the lesson. Try your practice, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.